Hello, my name is Zach Smith, and this is my culminating activity presentation. Uh, I'm going to talk about the summary of my inquiry and the impact that it had on my professional growth. Throughout this, we're going to discuss my inquiry question. We'll also talk a little bit about my CTSP, which one I chose, what I had tried on for my students, the growth I saw within my student learning. We'll talk about professional growth, overall reflection, and then finally discuss about the best parts of my year one induction experience so far. A little bit about myself first. I attended Cal State Long Beach, where I earned a degree in kinesiology with an emphasis in physical education. I attended San Diego State also to get my teaching credential in physical education. And during COVID, I went to Concordia University, Irvine, where I earned my master's of science in coaching and exercise science. This is my fourth year in teaching, and I've taught all 4 years at San Diego Unified. My first year, I was at University City High, where I taught all PE classes. Uh, my second year during COVID, I was an elementary PE teacher where I taught at Wegoforth and split time at Holmes Elementary. At Wegoforth, I was also a dance teacher, which was a unusual unit for myself to teach, but it was a great experience, especially during COVID, to learn how to approach teaching from a um, Zoom aspect and while still learning how to keep kids physically active during class. I currently now teach at Point Loma High School, where I teach freshman PE, also known as PE 1-2. I teach a strength and conditioning class that is all 10th, 11th, and 12th graders. And I have a sixth period athletics class that's focused on either in season training or off season training, depending on the season. Uh, During the fall, I coach football at Point Loma, and currently, right now, I'm coaching track and field, where I'm focused on the boys' sprints and hurdles. The CSTP that I chose was 2.1, where it is promoting social development and responsibility within a caring community where each student is treated fairly and respectfully. I believe that it's important that social development has was a main focus during this inquiry, especially since my freshman class students were all in sixth grade when COVID began, and that's in a very important years coming there in seventh grade, eighth grade of social interaction, meeting with students, and creating a fun classroom culture. The inquiry question that I chose was what are social development skills and strategies that I can use to direct student learning to improve community within the classroom? And I chose this question, or as my main focus of the question, because once again, community within the classroom is very important. You want your students to be able to learn um, about the importance of living a physically active lifestyle, but also how to communicate, work together as a team, and develop all these important social skills that our students need after they graduate from high school. The For the inquiry, my goal was to create a rewarding and respectful class community through social development. The research that was focused on was directed towards social development skills for my students. With the improvement of social skills within the classroom, the community would improve with a more peer-to-peer inclusive environment. And how it started off with that was the main focus was our gymnastics unit, where I placed students into groups of 5 or 6, and their goal was to create or incorporate a gymnastics routine that had basic tumbling skills, individual balances, multiple person balances, formations, and then add fun with it. They to create their own personal uniqueness. They added music to it, and then have to perform it in front of the class. The overall goal was to have all my students get at least a grade of a 90 or higher from a written portion and the performance portion. The Within the written portion, students had to write down each step of the routine that followed a guideline where there was a certain amount of tumbling skills and balances that needed to be able to create a flowing um, routine. And within these routine groups, there was a nominated leader who was to help direct and lead in choreographing the routine with all students, while also making sure that everyone is able to perform the skills that they're trying to incorporate together. My focus student, she did an excellent job. She was the leader of her group. Um, Overall, the written portion was a 100% completion rate. Everyone was able to create and develop a full routine. And within the performance rate, it was a 92% success rate. Many students did an excellent job. There was always, though, a couple students who either had missed a lot of class because that has been a very common thing as of recently. And if you are not in class, unfortunately, you're not able to learn. Uh, but they did overall was an excellent job. For personal growth, I used one of my things I used was the TARE strategy, which stands for Tool for Assessing Responsibility Based Education. I'd implemented this strategy to help foster social interactions measured by the lesson plans where I focused on the importance of an equal emotional lens. I had worked with my mentor on the best ways to implement these new strategies by creating opportunities for students to improve their social skills through small group learning and peer to peer assessment on basic tumbling movements. I wanted my students to become interactive with each other on a strategic development level of learning. And with that in mind, or students were able to express ideas and designs by writing and creating, developing their gymnastics routines. For reflection, after the completion of the inquiry, I found it to be informative on being able to uh, assess or have more variations of assessing students, um, and being able to reach obtainable goals, which was more focused on how to improve social interaction. Because I believe as a teenager that social interaction development is very important and critical for students as they grow older and get into adulthood and life after high school. When I incorporated these different techniques and strategies to my classes, I did see that there was improvement with class culture. Some of the best parts for me within um, the year one induction experience. The first one was learning more about the CSTPs. I thought they were pretty insightful, and I was able to begin implementing them into my teachings quickly, and I was able to see the progress gained from them. I also was partnered with an excellent mentor with tons of knowledge and experience, who also coaches sports and was able to really help me progress throughout the year. He was also there for me whenever I needed him, answered questions whenever I needed. And he's an easy guy to talk to. Um, I also thought having more self assessments on myself evaluating myself was important for me as a teacher where I needed to grow. And it gave me further insight and understanding of where I still need to improve as a teacher. And that is the completion of my project. Thank you.